This is Don't Get It Twisted with Charles Kirk. And today I'm going to be looking over a Husqvarna 36 series chainsaw, 16-inch blade. Say it's a little bit older model, but used to run great. Say we're going to take it apart, clean it up, and get it running good. First, we're going to start with taking the nuts off of the bolts that hold the blade on. Once you get these off, your cap should come off easy. And your blade should pop right off. Take your chain off the front of the blade. Slide it back. And remove the chain. After that, the bar will come off easy. Wiggles off as so. Next, we'll proceed by taking off the cap to access the top of the motor and the carburetor. Do this just by removing a few screws from the top plastic. And sliding it off backwards. As so. Next, we'll take the air filter off. So we can get to the carburetor. This air filter looks like it needs some replacing. It's pretty old and clogged up. Next, we will proceed to take out our 10mm nuts that hold this front plastic on. Move this up and out of the way. Pops right out. You can access that nut. Sit that out of the way. This plastic is on here pretty good. There we go. That popped free. This comes off of right here on the side of the carburetor. You always want to remember where your throttle linkages go. We're now going to take off the studs that hold the carburetor on. If you don't have a long enough socket, you can just use a wrench or an adjustable wrench. Unscrew these studs. Pretty long. And they will come all the way out. Once you get these out, take this little plate out, 2 screws down here, actually looking at it, they're slotted. So you should be able to just loosen it. Yep, and pop it out of the way. Here's our fuel line. Take a small flathead. Try to push up on that. Pop that off. And let's see, pull our carburetor off. This just slides out of the slot. It's the choke. We now have our carburetor off. And as we look at the carburetor here, we can take the choke off by squeezing that end and wiggling it off. And the fuel line that we pulled off has snapped down at the bottom where it goes in. So we will need to replace the fuel line. Get that out of there. Make sure you buy the right size. This stuff's real tiny. Make sure you keep up with which way your gasket goes. Look at different indicators on it, different little markings where it matches up on the motor. Keep up with that well. And next we're just going to take off these 4 screws and blow out all the jet holes and all the fuel line holes, and we'll take this cap off and blow out everything out from underneath there too. So you just use carb cleaner you can pick up from AutoZone or any parts store. And take the screws out of the top of carburetor. Right off, and now you can see the little diaphragm there. Be easy with that, and that's where your needle goes and shows how much gas needs to be going to the motor. Is this little pin right here, determined on this spring level, which is determined by how much gas is in here pressing up on that. Now we'll flip over the carburetor. Get this screw out. And pop this top piece off. Wiggle it out of the plastic. There we go. Be very careful with your seal there. That one looks like it might be hard to get. See, there's inside of your carburetor all the way around. And then we're going to blow out some of these holes. So here's our carburetor. I'm going to blow out the fuel line where the fuel comes in. It's going to squirt right back at you. Be careful. Make sure that blows out real good and clean. Clean out your screen right there. Blow out where your needle goes into the carburetor. And really, if you want, you can take that screw out, that bar will come out, the needle comes out, the spring comes out, and you can blow out that hole even better. But I'm not doing that right now. So blow out any other things you can see where fuel may go through. Anything and everything. And I do suggest wearing safety glasses while you do this. Once it's all nice and clean, give it a good hose down in general. And you're good. Let's go ahead and get these caps put back on before anything gets inside our carburetor and gets it dirty. Get that put back in there. Get your screw back in. Get that screwed in tight. Put that over. Get your piece. Make sure it's lined up right away. Only go on one way with the holes perfectly lined up like that. And put your 4 tiny screws in. Last one. Get all this snugged up good. You don't want your carburetor to leak, but don't do them too tight. It will strip. And now you have your carburetor put back together and cleaned out pretty good.